So I thought it'd be cool to look at trash cans, because every street needs trash cans, obviously. Maybe something like this, or this one, maybe. Yeah, cool props. So let's try this kind of thing. So let's get going. So let's do this with another lathe to start off with. You see, not in the right viewport, and that's what happens. Delete. So make sure that I'm in the left view by pressing L, and then now I can drag like that, and maybe I'll try and get it to the right size first. So let's do one. That'll do. And then I can convert it to an editable spline, and then select these segments, divide, delete that, and add a lathe modifier, and now we get that. So take off those guys and then weld the core, and that's the start of our trash can. And I might copy that over there because I might need it later, and then I can isolate that and get going. So let's add another editable splines for our edits. So I'm not going to need that segment, because that's going to be the top of our trash can. And in fact, what I'm going to add on top of this is a shell modifier, which can go inward and be about a centimeter. So that's the basic shape. And let's add some detail. So eventually what's going to happen is we're going to add some of this kind of fluting the indents. So we're going to need enough segments to do that, and it's hard to guess how many we're going to need, but I think maybe 48 segments will do it, I'd a guess. Now, to some extent it's a bit insane to model this, and probably we'd be better off with a bump map, but it's a fun technique to use, and we can show you what's going on. So I'm just going to show you the kind of thing that's going to happen. So let's first of all add some segments. So I can refine this and maybe add a couple of top segments like that. And get that kind of thing. And now there are multiple segments up here, and they're all kind of evenly spaced. So let's do this. We'll do that, and then we'll go down to divide, and let's divide that into 6, I think. Gives us that. It's possibly a little too much. So what I'm doing here is I'm because I've got the pivot point center selected. When I do this, it adjusts just the Bezier handles, which is quite useful. And then if I change the pivot point to the center, then we'll shrink all that down. And we get that kind of thing, which I think will do. Let's see, so we have, at the moment, we have 16 segments, so let's see what it looks like with 48. And you can see it's getting quite dense up here, so I'm going to go into this one and reduce the interpolation a bit to 2. 2 looks good. Or even 1, yeah. because eventually we're going to, on top of here, we're going to add a turbo smooth, because we'll need to deal with smoothing our geometry in the center of this. So that's looking pretty smooth. Five minutes. Right, so let's look at doing these indents in. So there are a couple of different methods we could try. Just want to make sure I've got enough segments in the right place. Yeah, and I think that'll be fine. So let's add and edit poly. So there are two different ways I could approach this. I could select all of these guys like this, and then I can bevel. And if I go to the bevel settings, let's just drag that over there. If I turn off group nulls and go by polygon, we can now bevel inwards a bit and drop the outline down like that, and we get that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. So let's tick that. So when we do our turbo smooth, we get that, and what I'd need to do is add some edge loops to kind of control that shape. So let's just quickly do that. So we can swift loop up here, like that, swift loop down there, like that. And that's our trash can shape. Now, another way of approaching it, if you wanted like thicker dividers, is if I do this, copy that, and let's just bin that guy. So if I select a polygon here, so let's go F4. So I can use this ring dot selection dot loop this thing. So it says select loop with gaps, select two or more adjacent polygons in a row or column, and etc. So let's just do that and see what happens. So we're going to select two adjacent polygons like that, and then I'm going to do dot loop, and you can see it turns into, if I press F2 you'll see the selection now. So by using dot loop I can turn that into that. And then I can do the same again, so I can bevel and add my swift loops to control the turbo smooth effect, like that. So there we have two different trash cans. And the last thing would be the lid, and because I've helpfully stored this over here, I can edit this spline to create the lid. So let's just do that. Remembering I can maybe change all those to corners, delete that segment, and then add some stepped detail up here. So let's go and have a look at that. So we kind of where have we gone? We need to refine this geometry, refine. Yeah, or I could do maybe, I want to keep it even, so let's do it like this. So again, we're going to go down here and we're going to divide it into 3 this time. So divide, and then I can select all these guys and just very quickly shampoo them ever so slightly, maybe that much. So that's 1, 2, 3 to select different types. So I'm going to select just these edges now, just move it up, select those edges, move up again, select those edges and move up again. And then just make a final adjustment to the edge here. I can copy that Copy, paste. That gives my thickness. And then just move it into place. Like that. And I could either, so I can either now just go into here and I can up the lathe count to maybe 48 or something. And that will smooth it out for me like that. Cool. So there you go, one simple trash can. It'd be relatively easy now to go and add handles, but very much over my 5-minute limit, so I'll leave it there.